Zkusíme.
Good morning, Martin and Andrea. I can see you. Hi.
Good morning, Salma.
Good morning, Pavel.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Andrea, I just wrote to you. I will screen share from my computer. I added those 2 slides. Otherwise, the rest is in line. It's just the logo.
Oh, yeah, I changed the logo, so I have it prepared also. So it depends on you.
I can run it from my computer.
Okay,
it's all right.
okay,
Yeah.
fine. Good.
It's just that I've done a bit more creative version with the charts. Sorry for that.
No problem at all. Fine. Oh, okay, it's 9. So shall we start? But I think that we don't have all people connected. There is Roman. Who is missing? Pavel Shardin is also connecting. So maybe we can wait for 1 or 2 minutes. So everyone get connected.
Okay, we're gonna start at 9:02, so 2 minutes. So hold on. Good morning, everybody. Just fix yourself a coffee or tea, and we will start in 1 minute from now. Ještě se nám někdo připojil. No. To bude Martina Palackého asi. Já myslím, že asi máme všechno. Okay, so again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome from the central office and greetings to your home offices, still being locked under the strict rule of COVID and governmental measures. And thank you for also. It's a great pleasure to meet people that are new to me. And the purpose of the meeting today is to get a deeper orientation in the SWAFs project. And SWAFs project is a project that is I call a spin-off project from European Alliance of Universities, AURORA, which is alliance we have joined and started to develop this concept in November 2020 with 9 distinguished universities from Western Europe. And Selma Polovic, who is also today with us, is institutional coordinator for this project. And there was a specific call for these European alliances of universities to develop a project that is more focused on science, research, and innovation and cooperation, because European Alliance project is primarily focused on education. And so we are developing educational networks, dense networks. There are also some aspects of research, and we have people that are working in Aurora and also been developing SWAFs project. And but SWAFs projects is mainly on establishing the dense network of research cooperation. I believe there is a great opportunity for Palackého University to grow with this alliance of European universities, because they are excellent research universities from Western Europe, including Amsterdam, Innsbruck, Duisburg, Essen, Rovira Hill, Spain, Federico II University in Naples, University of Iceland. So there are many great universities that in many aspects are more advanced than us in the aspects of management and development and support of research and innovation in these universities. So I have high expectations from our participation both in Aurora project and in the spin-off SWAFs project. And I would like to ask Andrea Nogova, who is the lady of SWAFs Aurora project, to lead us through today's discussion. I'm looking forward to learn more about SWAFs and see how we can make connections of European Alliance projects and SWAFs projects and how we can communicate this in the most effective way across the whole academic community. So good morning again. Andrea, floor is yours.
Hello, good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. Well, even though I'm the main responsible person for SWAFs project at the moment, I was not the father of the idea. Those were the vice rectors. So at the moment, I'm not going to continue, but Pavel Banáš will continue with his presentation, where he will introduce the general concept of the project and what we expect it to bring to Palackého University.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm going to introduce the general concept. Maybe it's worth to say that, as Andrea said, that she did not come with the main idea. I either did not come with the main idea. We were asked by the consortium, by the alliance, by the partners to participate on this project. So I'm going on behalf also of Jitka Urichova as Vice Rector for Research and Development to introduce the general concept of this project. Can I ask for the next slide, please? What we are calling SWAFs project is project which name is Aurora Alliance Research and Innovation for Society Impact. This is a Horizon 2020 project in the call of SWAFs, which means science with and for society, and it's called within the coordination and support action. So this is typically soft, what we call soft project, project focused on building and coordination and support in research agenda, the research and development agenda. The overall budget of the project is 2 million euros, but the budget for our university is slightly more than 160,000 euros for 3 years. Okay, next slide, please. As Vice Rector Kudláček mentioned, this project was submitted by the consortium of the universities in Alliance, so all 9 universities participate in this project, including our university. As was mentioned, there are many universities which are, let's say, in high ranking in means of research and development than our university, which are more advanced in many aspects of the policies. And it's actually the aim of this project to share the best practices and the policies in terms of research and development. Next slide, please. So the main focus of this project, as I mentioned, is the aligning and developing this support. So again, it's not a research project; it's a project focused on developing the support for research and innovation. And of course, as the alliance as a whole is focusing on achieving the SDGs, so mapping the research activity in terms of SDGs. And it's focused on 4 specific priority domains, as well as the Alliance Aurora is, which are sustainability and climate change, digital society and global citizenship, health and well-being, and culture, diversity and identity. So this is roughly the focus of the project, and this specified more deeply in the specific objectives, which are the development of some support plan for research and innovation, sharing the best practices, and strengthening the cooperation between alliances, developing the capacities and capabilities of our researchers, and of course even the support staff, because it's an important part of the research agenda. As I mentioned, sharing the best practices on open science, and embedding citizens and societal engagement, and of course maximize impact through the collaboration, not only within the Aurora Alliance, but also with other European universities. The project is split into 9 work packages, and all these work packages will be described in more details by following speakers. So now just a brief overview. The work package 1 is focused on project management. Then work package 2, developing shared support plan for research and innovation. And then there are 5 specific work packages focus on the specific parts of the research and development agenda and sharing the best practices, which includes sharing infrastructures, strengthening cooperation, work package 5, which is focused on human resources, work package 6, focusing on open science policy, work package 7, on engaging citizens and society. And then there are last two work packages. They serve for let's say, entrepreneuring the activities. So work package 8 for learning and sharing with other European universities. As I mentioned, that it's also one of the objectives of the project. And of course, the last work package 9 for communication and dissemination. And final slide from my part shows the structure of the management. So, as I mentioned, the project itself is composed of 9 work packages. The project has its team management. Maybe it's worth to say that each work package has its lead university. We are unfortunately not leading any of the work package, but we are co-leading the work package 3 and work package 9. Thank you. And let's say the coordinator of the whole project is University of Iceland. What is important that of course this project is linked to the Aurora management and coordination, and we are playing the role in the dissemination and communication, which is part of work package 4 in Aurora project. So not in this Aurora Ri, but in Aurora, the big Aurora project, and we are, I think, co-leading that particular activity with University of Naples. So the coordination of the Aurora Ri or Horizon Aurora project is linked in this way with the agenda in Aurora, focusing on dissemination and communication, and of course it's also linked to the management of the whole Aurora project. So now I would like to thank you and pass the word to Andrea and all the work package leaders. Thank you.
Okay, so now it's my part. My name is Andrea Nogova, and I'm the responsible person for our participation in VP1 project management. And I would like to use this opportunity to introduce the coordination and support actions in H2020, because let's say in the future, Horizon Europe, they will be there too. And I think that we should use this opportunity a bit more on Palackého University. So if there are some people from faculties listening to us, maybe it might be an interesting information for them. So I will be talking about this a bit also. On the beginning, I would like to introduce myself. At the moment, I'm working at Palackého University at CATRIN-RCPTM as a grant policy coordinator. I have 8 years of experience with preparation and implementation of research projects and coordination and support projects at different institutions. I was working at Brno University of Technology, Big Brno, and now at Palackého University RCPTM. At the moment, I'm helping with the implementation of 3 very important projects we are implementing at RCPTM. One of them is ERC Consolidator Grant, which is held by Professor Michal Otiepka. Other one is H2020 Twinning Nanophotamid that we won last year. The PI is Docent Václav Ranc, and I'm very happy for this success because I was present in whole like project cycle since the very beginning when we were preparing the proposal. During the negotiations about the grant agreement with European Commission, and also now when we started the implementation phase. So it's a great experience. And also I'm managing the OPVVV project Nanotechnologies for Future. The original PI of this project was Professor Zbořil, but as many of you know, Professor Zbořil is not working for Palackého University anymore, so now the PI is Professor Michal Otiepka. Well, and my responsibilities within AURORA RI project will be more or less the same as in the other projects. It will be the project management. And my personal goal is to use this opportunity for the networking with other managerial people at other European universities within the AURORA consortium, because I think it's really a great opportunity to learn new things. What are the coordination and support actions? AURORA RI, as we said, is not a research project. The research and innovation is not its goal. Its goal is to really coordinate and network the universities that are connected in the consortium to share ideas about research and innovation projects, about programs, policies. So the activities are really focused on dialogues, on different discussions about strategical documents, about different standardizations, networking, etc., etc. It's not the research and innovation activities. And in Horizon 2020 and nowadays in Horizon Europe, there are many calls focused on this kind of activities. And I think that it's a great opportunity for universities like our one, which is based in the widening country. Widening countries are those that are not so much involved in H2020 or let's say framework projects, to really get the opportunity to learn and to move up to the level of let's say Western European universities. As already Pavel Banáš mentioned, the total budget of our project is 2 million euros, but it's for the whole consortium. So Palackého University has something about 162,000 euros. And project will probably start in October 2021 and will go on for 3 years. What's the mission? Pavel already said it. I would just like to highlight once more that we are talking about the coordination and support action. So we would like to build the excellent research support structures to complement our research and innovation strategies in the whole alliance. We would like to strengthen our identity as the research intensive universities that are dedicated to societal impact and engagement. And for this reason, we have chosen 4 sustainable development goals to focus on. which are the sustainability and climate change, digital society and global citizenship, health and well-being, and culture and diversity. For this reason, you have already seen this scheme. We divided the activities into 9 work packages. And here you can see the people who will be responsible for the implementation at Palackého University. And all of those people will have their presentations after me. So in here you can see the full list, and I will repeat once more that in most of the work packages, we are not in the position of leader or co-leader. We are just a participant, which means that the amount of activities is not so tremendous. Only 2 ones where we are a co-leader is the VP3 and VP9. So in here we will be involved much more than in the others. What's the situation about the project now? It's in its preparation phase, which means that we are preparing the grant agreement. Just 2 days ago, the Iceland University, who is the leader of the consortium, sent the grant agreement data to the European Commission together with the first version of description of the action. There will be definitely at least 1 more round of this process, because the European Commission will send us some comments and recommendations, which we will have to apply. So hopefully we will get the grant agreement signed on the beginning of May 2021. But the deadline for this process is on July 13th. So at latest by July 13th, we will have the grant agreement with European Commission signed. In between, we will be preparing a consortium agreement. Its first version should be prepared by the end of March 2021. Well, and the AURORA RI project should be launched on the 1st of October 2021. This is our expectation at the moment. So we also expect to organize a proper kickoff meeting on the beginning of October 2021. So this is the plan so far. And finally, I got to my work package. Well, project management is a typical work package. It's always there in all H2020 projects. It's focused on the sound coordination of project activities. It should ensure that there will be smooth decision-making process and all of the risks will be mitigated. The lead beneficiary for this work package is University of Iceland. There are 3 tasks. First is focused on project coordination and management, second one on quality management and risk assessment, and third one on data management. First delivery to be delivered is the data management plan, which should be finalized in month 6th. Then we will prepare a detailed work plan that will be based on the results of the first phase of the project implementation and the list of key performance indicators. This will be done in month 14. And then there will be two project reports, midterm report and final report. So those are basically the deliverables of VP1. And this gets us to the end of my presentation. So I will pass the word to Maria Jadrničková, who will be responsible for our participation in VP2, which is focused on development and of shared support plan for research and innovation. So Maria, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andrea. A very good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maria Jadrničková, and I am working as a research officer at the Univerzity Palackého under the Vice Rector for Strategy of Science and Research. I have been newly appointed to this position starting in January, and my so far main responsibility is to co-lead an activity in the AURORA European Universities Alliance 4.2. Maybe we can go to the next slide. Yeah. So the The 4.2 work package in the Aurora program is focused on academic collaboration and research platforms. This is the main reason why I'm also involved in the Aurora Research Infrastructure project, because there is a clear link between these two activities. So in the 4.2 work package in Aurora, one of our tasks and deliverables is to create an overview of research facilities and centers that would then enable us to provide a scheme for short-term internships for young scientists or doctoral students. This initiative of mapping out the research infrastructure is taken much further in the SWAFs call. It is leading to a much more in-depth analysis and to a development of a shared support plan for research and innovation. The activity in this work package is also led by the University of Iceland, and University Palackého is one of the participants. The main objective here is to develop such a support plan for research and innovation that would be in line with the newly established European Horizon missions, but also with the European digital transformation and the European Green Deal. So basically, we can say that it is all in line with the vision to deepen the European research area. What are the steps to this ambition and towards this goal? Well, first of all, it is the convergence of research support activities, meaning that we will be mapping out the already existing strategies of research and trying to identify what are the possible ways of cooperation, but also where are the barriers that are preventing us to cooperate or to link together. This step would be carried out by conducting a survey or a feasibility study that would define the already mentioned steps. The next would be to create a platform for research services that would then be incorporated into the virtual Aurora Institute. This platform would enable for sharing of knowledge, expertise, but also it would mean that we could very quickly link researchers from the same field. We could put ideas forward, brainstorm, etc. So this would once this reaches the critical mass, it would be a really great platform for all this best practices sharing. Another part in order to achieve the shared support plan would be to build so-called building blocks for excellent research. I think this would be then further developed in the other work packages, but it means basically that we would provide opportunities and access for open science or for engaging external actors. It may be also worth mentioning that this work package is a horizontal one, whereas the work packages 3 to 7 are vertical ones, meaning that basically they will, in the end, all feed into the second work package. And the main task of this work package is to harmonize and synthesize, bring all these outcomes and results together. And last but not least, the whole outcome of these steps would be to have a roadmap, a joint roadmap as a long-term vision that would synthesize the research strategies and that would be long-lasting. So that would have as one of its features the sustainability and yeah, the sustainable character. Yes, maybe we can move to the next slide. What is the expected impact on UP's research management? As it was already mentioned in the, from the speakers before me, the University Palackého so far is a bit behind in the international rankings in terms of research, but also, for example, in terms of submitting the Horizon Europe calls. So the idea here is that through this activity would mean a significant push towards the support of research strategies, being a partner in this consortium and streamlining our research strategies. Also, we have the opportunity to have a direct say and influence the EU position papers, as well as team with potential partners for the projects. One such initiative, and I believe Selma Porobic will develop more this idea, is to become the coordinators of the widening era project. So again, we have a lot of space and opportunity here. I have already mentioned that this would bring a lot of technology, knowledge sharing, networking, balancing uneven research gap, and also putting forward and making visible our strong research areas. So lending an international visibility in those areas where Palackého is a leader. Okay, that's all for my part.
Okay, thank you, Maria. We are a bit ahead of the schedule, so I can see there are not so many people out of the team connected to the Zoom meeting, but are there any questions for the first three presentations? Okay, it seems not, so we will continue. Well, and we will see, maybe there will be some discussion opened later. Maybe I can just comment on this activity from the point of view of the grant policy coordinator of one of the research centers, that we are very open to these activities. I already get in touch with other project managers from other institutions, and we are already planning that we will be applying for the Horizon Europe calls. And I think it's really great, and it's something we have to do much more than how we are doing it at the moment. So it's really a great opportunity to strengthen these activities at Palackého University. Okay, BP3 is called Sharing Infrastructure and Resources, and the responsible person for our participation is Karel Berka, and Karel is also a co-leader of this activity. So Karel, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andrea. So, dear colleagues, my name is Karel Berka, and I'm from the Department of Physical Chemistry, and the work package 3 is about sharing infrastructure and resources. And our motivation here is clear. We cannot have all scientific expertise here in Olomouc, the infrastructure either, because not enough money for that. And the Europe universities are generally currently a little bit losing against the Asian ones. So the plan from the European research areas is to basically make synergies to form the alliances. And these alliances, in order to make it really synergistic, really needs to share the infrastructure and resources. But since we are sitting in a different national states, it requires also to overcome the barriers, how we can actually share our resources. And also, it also needs to map up what each of us know and how we can collaborate and how we can make those synergies. And as such, the current state of interactions within Aurora is actually relatively minimal. As we can see on the next slide, please. Here I've just taken the number of shared publications between the individual universities taken on Scopus just yesterday. And you can see that the interactions among all of the individual universities is quite limited. We have basically only the interactions with the University of Naples and University of Innsbruck, which is UNINA and UEBQ. With the others, we have really small number, but those numbers are quality interactions because there is quite a lot of common papers in Q1 journals, I would say, like Science, Nature, and so much. So there is a large room for development and co-development and synergies in this. So next slide, please. So just to show me why I'm speaking about this. I'm stationed at the Department of Physical Chemistry, and my experience is in the field of the other infrastructure, which is pan-European, and that's Elixir. We have our Czech version of Elixir, which is called Elixir Czech, and that's the Czech National Infrastructure for Life Sciences of Data. And this is a part of the whole pan-European infrastructure S3 called Elixir. And we are partnering in Elixir Converge projects for definition for some data management plans in individual fields. In my case, biomolecular simulations and COVID testing and sequencing data. In Aurora project, I've taken towards my colleague Václav Bazger, who previously here ran several or were involved in several projects which actually mapped the experimental capabilities of individual departments at the Faculty of Science and Medicine during the OPEVK projects like Botaska. Yeah. And even though those projects were generally mentioned for the making videos, we generally found out that it's possible to find out quite a lot of new collaborations when we start to make these interactions and when we start to make people speaking to each other, what they are doing and how can these things work. So next slide, please. So our objective is basically a mapping of relevant resources. I'm not sure that everyone is aware that here at UP we already have some seed of this information at the web pages of the scientific park, who tries to gather, the expertise and infrastructure and products which Palackého University actually provides. But we can go much more deeper in order to make the connections inside the university and within the Alliance Aurora as well. As I said, it's, the sharing is not that simple that basically I can borrow something from Innsbruck or that I can share something to Iceland without any law requirements. So next steps is to generate also some kind of agreement about the memorandum of understanding that would allow us to do that in most efficient way. And mapping those activities would also be good to be really open in that way that not only we within the Aurora Alliance, but also the other infrastructures can go and see what we have. So the expected impact in that here is that we will increase overall international visibility of our research and activities. By that, we can basically start to generate a bigger involvement in European projects and establish new collaborations and usage of our equipments and equipments of our partners. Next slide, please. So what is actually impact indicators in the YP3? It's basically everything which we generate. In part of the new collaborations, new pilot studies, new case studies of sharing infrastructure, shared outputs, contacts with other alliances. Basically, the floor in this case is quite big. And the key deliverables is the mapping itself and the way how we can do that by memorandum of understanding. So next slide, please. So I would like to summarize that during the work package 3, it should help us to ease establishment of new collaborations by mapping the data, expertise, networks, and infrastructure which we have within the Aurora Alliance. And in the process, we can increase collaboration within Palackého University itself. I would thank you for your attention, but since we are ahead of the schedule, can you switch further to one slide?
Which one? Which one?
Next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I've put the research profiles of individual universities within the Alliance. And as you can see, each university has its rank in different field of research. So we can really join our expertises and our approaches and infrastructure to make this alliance stronger and help us all. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Karel, also for the analysis you have done. It's really very interesting, and I think it's a strong pro argument for developing of this collaboration and put it on a high level. So thank you very much. And we will continue with BP4, which is focused on strengthening cooperation on entrepreneurial activities. It's really a tricky word, but I've been practicing the pronunciation and it's getting better. So hopefully by the end of the project implementation, I will be able to pronounce it properly. And the person responsible for this activities at Palackého University is Roman Jurečka. So Roman, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Karel for his input, which was very interesting and important. May I ask for sharing the last slide or sending us, because I think it's also important for my work package. I mean, sharing then after sending to every one of us, because I would like to study in detail.
This one, Roman?
No. This the overview of the participants and their strength in research.
You mean this one?
This one.
Oh yeah, great. Sorry, I didn't understand.
Crucial for understanding each other. Anyway, let's go to my work package, which is about strengthening cooperation on entrepreneurial activity. And may you switch to my slide? Thank you.
I'm sorry, Roman. I just I can't hear you properly, so it's tricky. So do you want this one?
Closer to my microphone. Is it better right now?
Yeah, a bit. Yes,
you hear me?
A bit better. Yeah, I can hear you. So, okay. So are we on the right slide for you?
Okay, thank you. So,
yeah, perfect.
My name is Roman Jurečka. I'm Director of Science and Technology Park of the University of Palackého. And my experience in the field is, first of all, in industrial and private sector, which I worked before I joined the university in 2014. So before I was really active in international sales and company management and also in entrepreneurship. During that time, I have founded or co-founded 4 private companies and was legal representative. So I have some experience with that. At the university sector from 2014, I have experience in the knowledge and technology transfer coordination, and in the last 3 years, directing the Science and Technology Park. So in the Aurora project, as has been said, I'm at the Palackého University responsible for Work Package 4, which is about cooperation on entrepreneurial activity, which is on the next slide. So objective and concept of that work package, which is led by University of Duisburg and Essen, so from the German university, is enhancing the research and innovation potential and impact on each Aurora member, and which is made mainly by creating ecosystem. when we speak about research and innovation ecosystem, which is very used in the recent times, the word ecosystem, it means the systems, self-sustaining system, consisting in looking for some knowledge, know-how, results of the research and science, and bringing it to and creating from the real business, which is a lot of steps and a lot of connection is needed for that, like looking for how to motivate the scientists to go on in that, finding the investors and other or sometimes some industrial partners for cooperation, and supporting all the system in order to create a real business. So this is what we understand under the research and innovation ecosystem. So the other objective is the building of a team of relevant actors across our Aurora community for mutual learning and exchange, which is the thing I really looking forward, because all of us have different experience in different conditions, and which is really worth to share and learn from each other. And then identifying areas of benefit for cooperation in knowledge and technology transfer, and developing program of exchange, which is really related to the work package 3, which Karel has presented. So each of us has some experience, and we can really benefit from a cooperation and sharing resources and knowledge. And the last objective, developing long-term plan of joint innovation activities, which is this one, and supporting visibility of the activities on all levels, from regional to Aurora up to European level, which is very important also, not to work on that in some separate places, but really make it visible, because if you make it visible, then you can get more cooperators, more, so use more resources across all the regional Aurora or European field. So the single task and activities in this work package are 4. First step is the SWOR analysis, which is an analysis looking for internal and external on one side, and present and future on the other side. So it is the internal is like strength, and then future aspiration, and external opportunities in present time and results in the future. So this is the first step. Second task, setting a program and realization of exchange visits. So we wish to make some exchange, mutual learning. We have to make it somehow to make some plan, how to meet, how to make it. And so that's really a step I'm looking forward. Then making a real plan for joint innovation activities. And then the last task is tailor best practice communication. So to learn how to communicate, how to share, and up to how to support the visibility on all levels, as has been mentioned. So next slide, please. So what is the expected impact on our university? Is definitely strengthening the knowledge and technology transfer processes, which we are still on the beginning. We try on the science and technology park to support all these processes in technology and knowledge transfer, but still the processes are not very known, not very supported in many places. So I really expect strengthening the processes on the UP and stressing their importance. Then participation on joint innovation activities, which is really very important part, to know each other, to share, and finding new fields for application and in technology transfer, definitely. And very often I meet that problem that we have some partners who need some specific knowledge which we don't have fully in the university. And so definitely if we have partners, we can join our work and offer the partners what they need. It will really help also for technology transfer. This is only one example. And definitely through the visibility, I expect gaining new partners, especially in industrial field and in all this European environment, which is very bright, very large. So by increased visibility and showing that we are able to cooperate across all the countries within Europe and the universities, I really expect getting new partners and new possibilities for technology and knowledge transfer. So that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Roman, very much. And I'm glad that you are also convinced that this will be a great opportunity for us to really get new partners and new contacts and develop some new activities in your field, let's say, technology transfer. And we can move on to VP5, which is focused on empowering human capital. And Pavel Banach should present its activities. So Pavel, please.
Yeah, okay, so good morning again. Well, first of all, I will take an opportunity to comment one thing. As the analysis Karel did is I think really useful and important. And as Roman said, it will be useful as well for VP4. I think that it's rather more general and also I think Maria will come in VP2 because the mapping the overlaps between the universities is of course the one of the important data source for our work. Concerning VP5, which is empowering human capital, it's worth to explain that I'm actually not responsible for this particular work package because the responsible person have not yet been appointed. Definitely, maybe many of you know that in Palackého University we have a project, OPVV project, focused on HR awards, and definitely this work package have to be linked with this project to harmonize the agenda in both of them. The leader of this work package is University of Aurora, so Spain University. Can we move on? And although I'm not the responsible person for this particular project, I will try to explain what is the goal of this project and general concept and what can be the outcome for our university. And of course, the human resources are important part of the story in research and development because the research and development stands, of course, on the human resources. The objectives of this particular work package includes the sharing of best practices in this agenda, and especially in case of the universities which have already obtained HR Excellence in Research Award, we can learn and share their practices, policies, that are say, focusing on career development plans, strategies, how to eliminate brain drain and to, let's say, control the inbreeding effect. Of course, all these strategies will be strategies and policies will be mapped across the universities and shared, so we can let's say, design our own policies at our university. The task for this work package is to create a toolkit on best practices in HR agenda, to deliver an action plan for talent management, and to establish some joint skill development framework and framework for rewarding of academic merit. What's important, next slide please, what's important for our university, that it can definitely help us to obtain HR Excellence in Research Award. This HR award is important for us in terms of project proposals and calls for a research project, as many funders take care about the internal policies of the institution, especially in the project like Marie Curie Fellowship calls in Horizon projects, or as a junior star in Czech culture. Of course, it's also important part of the evaluation of our university. I mean, the evaluation at the national level, because you know that there is a new methodology called methodology 2017 plus, and on the basis of this methodology, we are receiving the LCDRO money, which we call RVO for the Czech speakers. And in one of the modules of this methodology, part of this, it is focused on the policies at our university. And although we were, let's say, ranked in very high, let's say, by international evaluation panel, from good to excellent in many tasks, in the grade of very good. But if I have to point a weakest point of our university, that it's in agenda of human resources and data management and all this agenda. So I think it's very important that we have this particular AURORA RI project with all these agendas that really help us to improve the processes at our university, which can of course help us in the evaluation of our university at a national level, but also can increase our chances in research project calls. Okay, and so that's all from my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel, very much for important points, because it's really, in my opinion, it's really great that we can see what are our weaknesses, because then we can work to improve it. So it's really great that you mentioned also this. And we will move to the field of open science practices, which is the focus of VP6. And I hope that Lukáš Valek is here with us, and he can join us, because we are almost 15 minutes ahead. So I'm sorry for this, but well, maybe we will open some nice discussion at the very end of the program. So Lukáš, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. I can speak very slowly. We have time, so I can.
That is great.
I can enlong the whole event. So good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Lukáš Valek. I'm from the Science and Research Office, from the Central Rector's Office at the university. I'm in charge of publication evidence processes, as you know, in the main application of our university as OBD, and I'm responsible too at evaluation and reporting those data. So I can say the metadata is my main expertise for last, well, almost 15 years. In the last few years, maybe 2 years ago, I started to work on the open access issues. We can say the open access is the eldest sibling of the open science family. but I must say it's quite undeveloped in our environment at our university as well, and there's so much we can do yet. With this opportunity and with this project, I'd like to focus with great concentration on open science in general, so we as a university won't fall behind in such important subjects, and this activity seems like a great start. Next slide, please. Well, what is package about? I guess everybody who's listening already knows how the whole academia world is shifting its projects, its processes to be open, and to be open on so many levels. We're not talking here about only about open access and openly share for free our publications, but also and more importantly about opening and about openly sharing data, research data, about open evaluation of those data, and communicate this data in the process of research. This package is generally speaking to share the knowledge, to gain and share the knowledge about the subject and train people to learn as well. Those actions should not and must not be self-serving, as I speak. It creates new opportunities for collaboration with our partners. It allows us to be the greater disciplinary and international activities to build them. And last and not least, it will help us to fulfill prerequisites for our new European programs and projects. And as a part of Aurora Alliance, as a partner of Aurora Alliance, we cannot ignore these opportunities. Next slide, please. So here you can see the tasks and activities about this work package. As I said before, it's a quite a soft project. It's mainly about the knowledge. We would like to gain and share knowledge on the subject, and I can, in short, describe our activities in this work package in 3 terms, which are learning, training, and networking. Learning in this context means that we should and have to learn from our more experienced partners, to learn to answer the questions about such important issues like how to plan our research effectively, how to write data management plans, which infrastructure to use, how to share our data, how to describe our data with properly used metadata, and so on and so on. Training in this context means we should pass this knowledge to our researchers, to you, to people who's creating the research in most effective way to accommodate your research to open science business, to open science issues and processes without focusing on world, without creating excessive bureaucracy. And networking, I mean with networking that this project and its main leader, which is University of Napoli, if I'm right, is trying to build network communities for people, for researchers, to give them opportunities for direct communication tools, to share their experience, to work internationally, online and offline too, of course, and to give them opportunities to create new international and interdisciplinary research and collaboration as well. Next deliverable would be to create some kind of training kits with the use of already Aurora's research in open education kits and open education modules, which should be connected from the other packages to this one to learn effectively and teach effectively the new ways of open science processes. Next slide, please. I've already talked a few things about impact of those activities in our university, and as Martin Kuláček at the beginning and some previous spokespersons said, there are so much we can learn in this project with quite a little effort. We must admit that those partners of us from the Alliance are a few steps before us. So there is much we can gain and there is much we can accommodate. We can choose the best practices of our partners' best practices to implement them in our university. And we can prevent falling behind, as I said previously. This work package is not by any means the ultimate solution for open access and open science in general for Palackého University. There is so much that must be done. University need to invest their resources and people to build open science services and supplementary applications and to create work groups of people focused on the subject. But this is the great start because we must start with the gaining and sharing knowledge, and then we can shift to building our open science infrastructure. Lastly, but maybe most importantly, we need to change our mindsets about what is it to being open. Why we're doing it, and what's the most important, why these meta research subjects are the most important at the time of the being right now. So maybe that's all from me. I spoke very slowly, but my presentation is quite brief, so thank you for attention.
Thank you, Lukáš, very much. Well, thank you especially for this last slide, because I agree with it for a big extent. The change of the mindset regarding being open, it's exactly what we need. And also, as far as you know, we already contacted you with Professor Otiepka regarding the open access issues about his ERC grant and so on and so on. And in the twinning grant, we will have to prepare this data management plan. You were talking about this also. So yes, regarding the European projects, all of these issues are there, and we have to solve them somehow. And it would be great if we collect this knowledge and develop it on some central place at the university where there will be a person like you responsible for it and helpful for others, because I believe that our university will get involved in these projects much more in the future than is now. So really, thank you for this. It's great to hear it. And we can move to the next presentation, which will be also very interesting, I believe. It will be about VP7, which is focused on citizens and society, and the responsible person for our participation is Pavel Sharadin. So I will ask you, Pavel, please, the floor is yours. So let's get started.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I thank you for this opportunity, and I have got quite a short presentation. And firstly, let me introduce myself. I'm Pavel Sharadin, and I'm associated professor at the Department of Politics and European Studies in our university. My experience in last years, I was a main researcher in 2 projects. The first one was supported by Czech Science Foundation, and title was Democratic Innovations at the Local Level. And the second one was supported by Technology Agency of the Czech Republic, and the title was Civic Education in the Czech Republic, Research for the National Concept of Civic Education. We cooperate with in our department, we cooperate with local governments, regional governments, and also with Czech governments. And we have got experience with strategic planning, surveys, deliberative process, focus groups, and we try to strengthening citizen participation in local government level. I will be involved, I hope I will be involved in work package Title 7, Citizens and Society. Next, please. And two short remarks about my or our experience in department. We organized a large conference. It was 6 years ago, and the title was New Visions of Urban Politics. And we published final report, universities and cities. And results of this project or this conference are quite similar with contemporary AURORA's project. Next, please. This remarks is also about experience in the field. We often work with democratic innovations, and the concept of democratic innovations that we use in our research denotes institutions and processes which are increasingly being utilized around the world in order to increase, diversify, and deepen opportunities for citizen participation in governance, policy, and public administration processes, and I hope in university environment also. We recognize 5 families of democratic innovations. These include mini-publics, collaborative governance, participatory budgeting, civic initiatives, and digital participation. And I think the most important for us are mini-publics, and mini-publics. When I read a project description, there are mentions about mini-publics, and it reminds focus groups in sociological research. And mini-publics are forums of citizens selected by association that undergo an intense deliberative process where participants engage in a discursive expression. Next, please. Okay. Maybe one remark. We talk about citizen engagement. I think that it is the similar like democratic innovations. And we talk about citizen in our project. We talk about citizen engagement aims to empower citizens, raise mutual awareness, and steer research and innovation towards acceptable and desirable ends. We have got 3 goals or points of departure are firstly, build on the vast amount of work on citizens and public authorities, engagement and responsible research and innovations concept, methodologies and practices in the community and beyond. Secondly, shift the participation attention from hardware to software. It includes values, assumptions, mindset, participatory culture, etc. And also, and it is the most important, follow the systemic turn in participation. I think the main word of this part of project is participation, and we would like to build long-term relationship with citizens, civil society, organizations, and public authorities, etc. Next, please. Okay, we have got 3 goals, or there are 3 goals ahead of us. Examining citizen engagement best practices, developing capacities, and strengthening connections with local communities. And what we expect handbook to implement citizen capacity building and connection and cooperation of different AURORA partners and their local communities. And I think the last remark, when I read this project, I think that strong side is draws lessons from recent SWAFs project on the implementation and institutionalization of citizen and public authority engagement and responsible research and innovations in research performing organization. I think that the most important, I said it, is participation between environment of our university and people who lived in Olomouc. Thank you for attention.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Pavel, for your presentation. Well, and now we get to VP8, where Selma is the responsible person. So I will ask Selma to share her presentation.
Good morning, everyone. If you can just stop sharing. Yes.
Yes.
And I will screen share.
Perfect.
Just a second. My computer is a bit slow. Sorry for that.
No problem. We are still 15 minutes ahead, so.
I hope you can all see the presentation now.
Yes, I can see it, and I hope the rest of us also.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Selma Porovic. I'm coordinating Aurora Alliance at UP. And here in SWAFs, which I really appreciate as a spin-off project from Aurora Alliance and also all other European university alliances focusing particularly on research and innovation. I will be in charge of learning and sharing with other European universities. That is the work package 8. So I will give you a bit of introduction. And as we go along, I may just add some more points why joining research innovation with education, because Aurora Alliance as a project right now, the pilot project mainly focuses on education. But the main mission in general is changing the mindsets of our educators, but also researchers, as we could see here, to help the students to be more involved to tackle societal challenges. So to move them from theoretical to practical applications, since most of the challenges in society that we are dealing with today are global. So it's about sustainable development, being part of global cooperation, but to be there, we need to change the mindsets of both students and educators and researchers across our institutions. Also, we need to co-engage a bit more with the society beyond the universities, with the broader stakeholders in the municipality, regionally, nationally, at EU level and globally. And also we need to lead by example, so becoming sustainability pioneers ourselves. So that is an overall mission of Aurora. And now it's passed on to SWAFs as well, in particularly focusing research and innovation. So I'm glad that we can join our forces together through these 2 projects, having a focus on education, particular education with Aurora and research with SWAFs. And just briefly, I work at Director's Office, International Division as the coordinator. I have over 15 years of experience in the field, international education and research. I worked in several countries. In Scandinavia, my alma mater is Lund University in Sweden, where I have all my studies, undergrad, graduate, postgraduate, combined with several universities like Oxford University, American University in Cairo, but also Fordham University in New York. I worked with a number of stakeholders regarding education and democratic processes in education, particularly in post-totalitarian, post-conflict societies of Central Eastern Europe. I worked with government organizations, UN, EU, and also as a researcher, I focus pretty much on human rights, gender, also mental health and well-being and diversity in education and research. Currently, I don't have any academic affiliation at our university. My affiliation is with University College London at the Department of Education, but here I'm doing academic management and helping Palackého University to join other universities on this path that the European Commission has set for all the universities, grouping together, transforming our ways of teaching, researching, collaborating, and moving forward to be significant actors with the social impact, helping to face all the challenges that are ahead of us. Nonetheless, the one that we are facing now in health with the COVID pandemic, and that is truly surpassing national borders. It's not just not just national and transnational EU, but also clearly points out to this global approach to societal challenges that we are facing. So I joined the international division in 2018. I coordinated the first pilot call in 2018 of European universities, where we were leading organization in a consortium of 7 universities. One of the universities has joined us in this second call now with Aurora Alliance, which we were successful with, and that's Rovira and Virgili University. So we are partners. We were already partnering up with them in the first pilot call. And I will move on now to tell a little bit about learning and sharing with other European universities as a part of SWAFs proposal, but we can come back to the connections and collaboration between Aurora Alliance project, which employs 30 people at our university across 8 schools that we have, and also more people from the rector's office overseeing it together with the colleagues at the faculty levels. As you can see, we've had the presentations now of management work package, work package 2 on development and shared support for research innovation, and all the other work packages from VP3 to VP7. And then VP8 is actually drawing on the experiences from these work packages to share with other European universities. This activity will last all 3 years. It's led by University Virgili, Rovira and Virgili, URV, and we participate. We don't have much of a participation. It's 1.5 month of participation in total. And what is envisioned to be done within this period of time is principally starting with this openness. So work package 8 is really about openness of Aurora Alliance, being open about our processes of work and our activities, what we work with, and sharing that to other European university alliances in order to build a network so that we can together look into the solutions that concern research and innovation. So it's clustering of our activities to promote this transformative change that European universities are about in European education and research area. How we are going to do this is best described in these 3 circles here. We are going to employ the common platform called For EU2, because there was For EU, and I will tell you a bit more about the platform. But basically, the main aim of this platform is that European University Alliances from the first call, and we had 24 alliances from the first call, and those from the second call, 17 alliances altogether. Right now, 41 European University Alliance have committed to support SWAFs projects, so research and innovation, by building these forums. So Forum for EU2 is a forum that is built by these 17 alliances from the second call, as a response to the 4 EU that was built by the first 24 alliances. It's about identifying our common areas, priorities of work. In Aurora, as you know, we have 4 challenge domains that Andrea has mentioned in the beginning, and these are the global challenges that we're all facing. It's environmental sustainability, it's health and well-being, it's digital society and globalization, and it's cultural identity and diversity. So here we would like to identify other European university alliances who prioritize similar challenges in similar areas, to share with them, and then to work towards more common solutions, infrastructural solutions, the barriers that we all face in transforming our universities, as European universities would like us to do, towards modernizing the institutions and towards making them more societally relevant. So it's about collaboration, networking, community building, that will put all 41 alliances together and then create a push at the national, but also EU level, and if needed, local levels, institutional levels, to make this necessary transformation and to truly become socially relevant actors. The general working approach is matchmaking events through the platform that I mentioned, then deeper collaboration to integrate together these 41 alliances, where we share our objectives and we join our vision. What is important here, what is very helpful, is that Aurora has a permanent or semi-permanent, I would say, presence in Brussels, because we have Aurora Liaison Officer, Dr. Pim de Boer, that works from Amsterdam office and commutes quite often to Brussels, and is very closely linked with all other European universities, but in particular EU institutions and stakeholders in education, European education research area. And yeah, we presume that this will happen because there is a collaboration call for all the European university alliances to work together to identify obstacles, legal, regulatory obstacles, to achieve the social impact that is needed in this transformation that we are all participating in. We are piloting something in 3 years, but this is a long-term process that envisions some 5 to 15 years to transform our universities across the EU by grouping together in these inter-university campuses. Some of the tasks, well, the main tasks with the milestones are participation in 4 EU platform. Here we will map the current best practices that exist in implementation of long-term strategies for research and innovation, and particularly focus on mainstreaming gender to start with, but then also secondly to identify best practices in legal, financial, regulatory barriers, overcoming these at local, regional and European level. That will last it will be an ongoing activity of mapping for the 3 years using this existing platform. Platform has not been launched yet. I've been invited to join it already as one of the Aurora coordinators, but I have been participating in 4 EU, the first platform of the first 24 European University Alliances. And this will be just joining the 2 together now, probably as of October, since SWAFs projects haven't started anywhere yet. Then it's about comparing European university alliances with Aurora Alliance. We want to collect a comprehensive data set. This will start in the 2nd year of SWAFs. And this data set will provide us with an overview of research, innovation, infrastructural objectives, and see how they complement Aurora Alliance. And then the 3rd task will be to report the lessons learned from this data collection and collaboration through the forum, and also to come up with a roadmap for further collaboration after the project ends, after these 3 pilot years. We will submit this to the European Commission, and I think it's a very important step that we share our approach, which involves all other European University Alliances, and in that way offer some sort of blueprint how we can all cooperate together. Okay, moving forward. Deliverables in general will consist of the reports on European University Alliances and their complementarity with Aurora Alliance. Then the report will consist of two parts, as I mentioned. The first part, the practices that focus on gender mainstreaming in long-term strategies of research and innovation. And the second part will provide 24 case studies, one per each alliance that we are participating with. So these 17 alliances in 4 EU2 on the progress made in research and innovation long-term strategies, particularly then legal, financial, regulatory barriers, overcoming progress. And finally, the roadmap that I've already mentioned of collaboration opportunities with other European universities as a blueprint to European Commission. Why it's important for Aurora and SWAFs to share their knowledge, know-how, expertise across the EU's higher education area and research. Well, this is the very core of Aurora. I mentioned the openness in the beginning, and we have had several working groups that involved vice rectors for research and vice rectors for education from the Aurora Network. Aurora Network, as you know, exists from 2016. It transformed into Aurora Alliance, which has 2 partners less from the network. And already we have produced very important recommendations to European Union. Maria Drinchkova mentioned this in the area of education and research, but also regarding the upcoming Horizon Europe strategic plan and regulations. And we would like to continue along this path. So here I've just listed for you links to Aurora Education Position Paper, Aurora Research Position Paper that was submitted to European Commission that we participated in giving our recommendations to. And then there is an ongoing current so-called Aurora Global Approach Position Paper that really speaks to European Commission's current global approach to international cooperation. European Commission is revising a document from 2012 that concerns the international cooperation and would like to see research and innovation as well as education come under the joint umbrella of a global cooperation. So European Commission pushes for developing EU as a global actor, truly participating in the global scene to respond to increasingly more global challenges that we are all facing. Within this, we have a widening education and research section that we have been consulted on. And this is in particular important part of the global approach that looks into, at one hand, stepping on the scene as a global actor, but also bridging the gaps that exist within the EU, so-called EU research and innovation divide between the Western leading universities and Central Eastern European emergent universities in research. And this is where we are consulted as a main partner to join various initiatives, from twinning to hop on to Horizon Europe initiatives, but also very importantly to be the leading actor in bringing along the partners that we have as associate partners in Central Eastern Europe. And we have 4 universities: University in Košice in Slovakia, University Karazin in Karazin in Ukraine, University in Tetova in North Macedonia, and University in Bulgaria, Southwest University now, Petrilski. So we are, at one hand, supported to bridge our own or to increase our own research outputs through these initiatives of widening, but also to bring along and to act as role models to our associate partners, and to, in that way, to support capacity building of universities, institutional capacity building of universities and Central Eastern Europe in general, towards more societal outputs of universities. So the engagement in the wider community. Social engagement as a third mission of university is very important to Aurora. So that's why pushing for entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and working with the stakeholders in the wider society. That would be all from me. I would like to say as a final word that the impact of sharing, identifying the barriers, finding solutions together with other European universities is also there to influence the policymakers at national level. We work closely with Ministry of Education. And DZS, as you know, Czech National Agency for International Education and Research, who has also opened the office in Brussels recently. And that's very good because we can join Aurora liaison officer with them. So to influence at national level, but also EU level, and also strategically to help together this whole movement of transformation towards these universities of future that European universities promote. So that is short from me about VP8 and a bit more in a wider context of Aurora Alliance that I use my opportunity to share with you. We have already started sharing some of the initiatives that concern, in particular, research from Horizon Europe calls in health sciences, mainly involving medical faculties across the Aurora Alliance and also university hospitals. But I leave that to my colleague Niels Hexport, who will tell you a bit more about communications and dissemination in the work package 9 here. Thank you for me.
Thank you very much, Selma. It was great. Thank you for all the information you shared with us. Well, and now I will try to share my screen and get back to our presentation. Okay, and we need to jump to the very end. This one, yes. So, oh, great, perfect. So we get to the last VP, it's VP9, Communication and Dissemination, and Niels Hexport will share this topic with us.
Great, so hello, good morning everyone. It's my pleasure to be speaking to you today a little bit more about work package 9 on communication and...
Niels, sorry, we can't hear you. You can get closer to microphone or if somebody...
Can you hear me now better?
It's better, but even maybe 30% more if possible.
I have like the microphone in my mouth right now, so I will...
Oh, okay, now it's fine.
Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's perfect, Niels.
Okay,
thank you.
Great, perfect. So I have to get that microphone changed, it seems. But so again, it's my pleasure to be here this morning to talk a little bit more about work package 9 on communication and dissemination. So first, a little bit about myself then. My name is Niels. I'm originally from the Netherlands, and I have been here at Palackého University, Olomouc, since 2014, first as a master's student. Now I am currently working on a PhD at the Department of English and American Studies. And since 2017, I've also been employed at the International Relations Office of Palackého University. And since the start of the Aurora Alliance project, I've also been involved there as communications officer for Palackého University. And also I have been an active participant in work package 6 in the Aurora Alliance project, the Erasmus Plus project on sustainability, communication and dissemination. And that ideally would mean that I will be able to bridge and connect the gaps between the Erasmus Plus project and this Horizon project to make sure that communication and dissemination happens in a coordinated and coherent way. Because as Selma just mentioned, with these spin-off projects, but also like the Aurora Alliance and the Aurora Network, communication could risk becoming increasingly confusing if we do not make sure that one coherent message is being spread. And for that, it's great to have some kind of overview from being involved in all of these projects. So, for example, when we have a project such as the UNCAN European Union Cancer Research and Impact Platform that is to be established, and in which universities and university hospitals have to play as big a role as possible, we would have the opportunity to share that not only through the channels of the Aurora Alliance Erasmus Plus project, as we have been doing now, but once SWAFs is online and running, we will have this possibility to also make sure that it is within the AURORA RI SWAFs project, and that it goes to the stakeholders, both locally here in Olomouc, but also across the Aurora Alliance, so that we reach the stakeholders that we need to reach and make sure that information is shared in a logical and like as easy to process as possible way to all the people involved in either the Aurora RI SWAFs project or the Aurora Alliance Erasmus Plus project, or the network or any other spin-offs that that might come out of this Aurora platform and might be carried out under the Aurora banner. So that's the goal. If we could go to the next slide, I will talk a little bit more about the objectives and concepts and tasks and deliverables within this work package. So the objectives and the concepts of this work package is set up really simply. First of all, the universities involved in the work package, which is led by University of Napoli Federico II and Palackého University Olomouc. First, we will make a plan for communication. Then we will work on implementation of that communication plan, and the same goes for dissemination. So first making a plan and then implementing it. And it's great that we get to do that together with Federico II, the university from Naples, because we are also co-leading with them work package 6 in the Aurora Alliance project on communication and dissemination. So that will ensure that we will be able to make a communication plan for Aurora RI that fits within the already existing and currently under development plan for the Aurora Alliance in general, and the same goes for the dissemination plan. So basically, in terms of communication, what we want to ensure is that there is internal, so both locally within each member university, as well as throughout the consortium as a whole, commitment and engagement through active community building based on Aurora values. So that means that we want to really effectively communicate what is going on and try to ensure interaction and information of stakeholders, both within our institutions and also external stakeholders. We want to make sure also that we frame activities and values of this Aurora RI project within that larger scope of the values of the Aurora Alliance and the Aurora network. So how can we put things in an SDG context and present it in a wider context for society as a whole. In terms of communication, that will be done through the usual channels, which we will establish and develop. So that's websites, social media, existing university communication channels and communication networks. So we will try to map all of that and get an overview and come up with the best way to share that information regarding the project. Then for dissemination, it is all about sharing outcomes, both of the Aurora RI project and also relevant research outputs, and making sure that if we want to have science with and for society, it's not only a matter of having great research that is topically relevant, but once that is there and once those outputs are there, it's also important to consider and think on how to best share it and how to make sure that these outcomes that will be produced throughout the Aurora Alliance actually reach prominence in the media, within the local and international stakeholders, and within the research community as a whole, as efficiently as possible. So for that as well, we would be first of all mapping the goals, channels, and outcomes that we would like to share, and after setting up that plan, which should be there in month 16 of the project, we would then be implementing it so that by the end of the runtime of the project, we would have all of the channels and all of the tools in place to disseminate the outcomes of this Aurora RI SWAFs project as efficiently and as broadly as possible. So for me, I guess that is it, since this is much more of a technical work package rather than being very substantive. This is all for now. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Niels. Thank you very much. Well, and now we are getting to the end of our presentations, all of them. So, well, maybe I will ask Pavel Banaš for some closure, final word, and I think that then we can end the meeting.
Okay, so good morning once again for the third time. I hope that we explain to academicians who are probably listening us through the stream what is behind this Aurora project. And it's worth mentioning that this project is still under preparation. It means that the proposal was finished and it was granted, but of course we are ahead of the negotiation of grant agreement, and the official kickoff is expected at the October this year. So it has still not been initiated or launched, but you know now the structure of the project, the whole work packages, and as I mentioned, it's important to know and understand what are the weakest points of our university, and of course we are old university. I think we can say that we have excellent research, at least in some field of research, well recognized. But of course, even the excellent scientist needs some environment at the university. And honestly saying, there are still a lot of things to improve. Although due to, let's say, the evolution in the R&D, especially in the new topics like open science and new challenges. When I was speaking about the international evaluation, and when I look at the criteria, we have the let's say worst scoring, although it was a good scoring good, then there are international regulation and measures for maintaining good practices in R&D, system of sharing instruments and equipments, external advisory bodies for R&D and independent feedback for R&D, gender equality measures, subsequent career for doctoral graduates. So you can see that this particular project is really important to, let's say, push our weakest point, to improve the evaluation of our university, but more importantly, to improve the environment, to support research at our university, which is the goal of this project. So I really appreciate that we have such a project here together with of course, the HR, what I have mentioned, and the AURORA as a whole, because we can learn from our partners at the Alliance, and to share the best practices which can push us to be well recognized and important Central European or European university in the future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pavel. And maybe are there any comments, questions, anything to discuss from your side? Okay, it seems not. So thank you for your participants. Thank you for your time. I'm really looking forward for our future cooperation, not only like internally within this project, but also within the whole AURORA consortium. I really believe that this can help us a lot to put our research to another level, because we already have the excellence in research here, but now we need to achieve the excellence also in the research management side. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time, for your attention, and see you in the next days and weeks, and have a nice day, all of you.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you for preparation of the project. Thank you also to Vice Rectorate Palackého, who has been following us and supporting both AURORA and SWAFs. And I see there is a great opportunity for Palackého University. It's challenging because it's paradigm kind of top-down approach and support of area of research and innovation. But I hope we as Palackého University can gain as much as possible from our participation. So thank you to everybody. Stay well, stay healthy, and I am looking forward to future cooperation. Have a good day and good weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, see you.
See you.
Pavle, prosím tě, můžeš zůstat připojený, já bych si potřebovala něco probrat.
Určitě ano.
Jo, díky.
Jenom možná počkáme, až to přestane streamovat.
Jo. Pavle, prosím tě, já jsem ti včera posílala tu informaci.
Počkej, ještě Jítko, můžeme poprosit o stopnutí streamování?
Jo.
Ano, Jítko, já si můžu za tebou stavit teoreticky.
Ne, to je jenom jeden dotaz, to není potřeba, abys to...
Já si nejsem jistá, jak to je s tím.
Jako to nemusí slyšet celý jako YouTube, no.
Aha.
No a tam je, že jo, stále live, jako. Jítko, já ti zavolám, zhoďme to a...
Dobře, tak mě zavolej.